Today I get to do something fun and collaborate with one of my fellow teacher tubers. Hi everybody, welcome back to Talk and Chalk. I'm Beck. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You're going to see today a person who inspired me to start my channel. So for anyone who's been following for a while, thank you for the continued support. I still constantly get messages through Facebook and Twitter and other forms of social media and messaging. Thank you for the suggestions. I have lots and lots of suggestions, and I promise I will try and get through all of the topics that are there. And thank you to the new followers of the podcast that I've been working on with three amazing colleagues, which is called the Teacher Takeaway Podcast. Again, any suggestions on that is always welcome. But today I'm going to rave about someone who I came across, I think it was early 2017. Her name is Florence, and she is the creator of Teacher Tales. So let's have a look at what Florence has created. Allow me to introduce you to Florence. Florence is the creator of Teacher Tales, a YouTube channel that is just full of amazing videos for teachers. I love the fact that Florence's videos are more of a vlogging style. I definitely do not have the creativity or the energy to be able to put into some of these videos that she does. And I love the fact that when she makes these, it's obviously very creative and very personal. And I like the fact that she's willing to share those things to give us that really, better perspective of what it's like to be a teacher and a parent. So you can have a look at some of her videos. Some are about returning back to work after a period of time off, about preparing your classroom, being ready for an excursion, getting resources prepared. Some of these outfit videos are just great because I'm definitely not creative when it comes to fashion, but when you're sharing ideas with each other, you just be like, you know what? Sometimes I like to try something different, and that could be down the track that you're looking at. One of the first videos that I ever came across was her back to school go shop at Daiso video. And I love Daiso, so this really came out to me. And I've been watching ever since. One of my favorite ones, though, that I'm going to scroll up to was the rainbow fish DIY costume. And this was for book week, and it came out so good, and it was so easy to make. Well, she makes it look easy, at least in the video. She always does. You can find Florence as Teacher Tales in Facebook. She's got a Facebook page where she shares lots of resources, great photos, great prompts. On Twitter, she'll share things as well under Teacher Tales 101. And also on Twitter, you can find her under Teacher Tales 101. And I love the fact that you'll see lots of different things on here. So, there's different things across different platforms because we know social media has different audiences. And I really like the fact that she knows that teachers like different things, and she's always willing to share what she thinks might work for someone else. Same mantra as myself, sharing is caring. So if you are not following Florence yet, I highly recommend going and checking her out. So you can see there's a wealth of knowledge being shared there, and I love the fact that she's just so open and honest, and that's what gave me inspiration to be able to share as well. And there aren't many Aussie teacher tubers out there. There are lots that come from America sharing their expertise and their experiences, and there seems to be a difference between people who are vlogging about their experiences, some people who are sharing their resources, and then there's people like me who just sit on their bedroom floor and share. So Florence and I decided that we really wanted to take the opportunity to ask each other some questions about motherhood and life. So when you go to her channel, you will see we're sharing at the same time. Florence asked me some questions and I recorded some answers, and today I have some questions for Florence, and she'll be sharing her answers with us as well. So something that we can relate to together is we're both mums, we're both teachers, we've both moved on to the executive path in education, and we both love our job and love being a mum as well. So my first question for Florence, and I'm going to go to my notes to make sure I'm reading my question properly. What are your ways of winding down or relaxing after a difficult week of working and motherhood?
Hey Beck, thank you so much for having me on your channel today. So in response to your first question, what I love to do at the end of a very busy day, I come home and the first thing I usually do is have a hot shower. I take off my work clothes, all the dirt and grime and germs that I've been touching throughout the day in the classroom. I take off those clothes, put it in the laundry and have a nice hot shower. At the end of a busy week, I like to have some me time in the form of spending time watching TV with my husband on the couch. So we're usually binge watching a series. We'll put the kids to bed around 7:30, and fingers crossed that none of them wake up during that time throughout the night. And usually I'll have a nice hot cup of tea while I'm watching something with my husband.
Question number 2. How do you divide household and children responsibilities when you have a working partner?
Yes, so it's super busy in our household, particularly with my husband working full-time and me going back to relief teaching. The only way that I have been able to return back to relief teaching is because I have both my mum and his mum that comes over to help out a lot. So when the kids are at home and I'm at work, usually it's one of our mums over here looking after the children. In terms of the household chores that we have, I like to spend a couple of hours a week. Usually it's at the beginning of the week getting the grocery shopping out of the way. I used to really enjoy taking out Indy grocery shopping with having her in a stroller and being able to put everything under the basket, under the stroller into the basket. But now that is not possible. With having a double stroller, there is no space for a basket. So I've recently started doing grocery shopping at night. So it's a bit later in the week when I will do grocery shopping if I need to do it at night time. But that just allows me the space to not feel guilty having somebody watch the kids if it's during daytime. And yeah, that way I feel a lot more relaxed when I go out and do grocery shopping, knowing that the kids are sound asleep. In terms of the chores that I have around the house, my husband and I like to help out. My husband and I like to share the duties, So I am usually the one doing the cooking. He is the one that cleans up in the kitchen once I have finished cooking and once we have finished eating as well. When the kids are asleep, it's usually around 7:30 at night, I like to do a quick clean, about 10 minutes, my 10-minute speed clean around the house. That's usually getting all the toys packed away, making sure there's nothing on the kitchen counter, on the table, making sure all the bottles and milk powder and everything like that's ready for the long night that may be ahead of us. And yeah, getting all the laundry folded, and if that needs to be done, that may be done after the 10 minutes of speed cleaning when we're watching TV at night together on the couch. I also like to spend time, well, I don't like to spend time, but I usually dedicate one afternoon when the girls are sleeping during the week to clean our bathrooms and also the kitchen as well. So yeah, keeping everything tidy like that and doing the laundry. It's usually a joint activity between the girls and I, where I make it a fun activity. And yeah, they help me out with changing the beds around the house. So yeah, they're the main chores that we have around the house and that we get done. Because I do spend more time at home than my husband, usually it is me that gets to do all the chores around the house. Yay! But if there is something that I need help with, then I don't hesitate to ask my husband because he is very helpful around the house as well. In terms of having time for hobbies and in terms of spare time, what is that? So my main spare time that I have during the day would be when the girls are napping. So I know that after lunchtime they will have a good nap if I'm at home. They will have a good nap for about an hour, hour and a half if I'm very lucky. So I will have my lunch quietly during that time by myself while watching something that I am enjoying, whether it's on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or if it's like a repeat of a reality TV show that I missed during the week. So I'm really into watching MasterChef at the moment. So that's usually my time to catch up on that. Otherwise, it may be reading a book that I'm interested in. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of me time, but I've recently have started joining a gym. So I am going to night classes in terms of like yoga I'm trying out and Pilates and all of that. So yeah, it's going well. I make sure that the kids are asleep and then I head out. So it is a lot more relaxed for me, knowing that the kids are asleep and they're not awake for me to actually enjoy that me time. On top of that, I've actually just had a quick thought that my husband and I have actually been enjoying a lot more date nights. So my mother-in-law has recently moved quite close to us, so we're able to have her help out. We'll put the girls asleep and then she'll come over. So we've been enjoying date nights maybe once a fortnight. So we'll get to go out together and enjoy a meal with no children. So yeah, that's definitely something that I look forward to throughout the week.
Question 3. What is your go-to easy prep yet tasty lunch for school? If you haven't seen her other videos on meal prep, go and have a look.
Wow, that was such a long time ago seeing those videos where I used to do meal prep. Let me just say, I no longer meal prep for the entire week compared to what it was like before having kids. I don't have time to do that, and I like to make sure that my meals are fresh throughout the week as well. So it's funny that I say the word fresh because a lot of the time now have dinner, and then after dinner I will make sure that I have a portion left so I can have it for work the following day if I need to head into work. So yeah, lunch meals are usually leftovers, and I'll get them ready, like I said, the night before, but they usually are quick meals that I do at home. So there may be like a pasta dish or a stir fry or a rice dish, or like I said, we have a lot of help from our mums around, so sometimes we will have meals brought over from them or something that they have cooked for us and it's been frozen, so I would defrost it and have it ready for work.
Question number 4. What's your favorite way to indulge in family time during the school holidays?
So family time is super precious to us. We always have a picnic rug in our car, and I've recently invested in this massive picnic rug. It's almost like 2 meters by 2 meters rug from BCF, Boat Camp and Fishing. It's a massive rug that I bought for my husband for Father's Day. So we always have it in the car, and it's always ready to go. If we find a park that we really like to enjoy, we go there. So the girls, well, mainly Indy has time to play on the equipment, get her energy out, and then I gets to roll around on the massive rug while we're waiting for Indy, and we have a nice lunch there. So sometimes we don't have time to prepare like a really nice picnic, and we might just get takeout and have it on the rug, but who cares, because as long as we're spending time together as a family, then that's definitely something that we love and enjoy to do. So family picnics are definitely something that we have been doing more and more of, particularly now that our time is a lot more flexible during the week.
And last but not least, question number 5. Have your aspirations for education and education change become different since becoming a parent? And if so, how?
That's a really good question. And I've had to think a little bit about this before putting my words together. I think when, before I was a mum, I didn't realize, I think you can't really prepare what it's like being a mum and the love that you have for your child. And I really, I guess I didn't understand to the complete capacity what it's like being a parent, sending your kids to school, and then also having some parents, as a teacher, seeing helicopter parents, not understanding why they are so involved with their child's education. Yes, of course, education's important, but being so involved where they are just at your front door in the early mornings before school starts. I didn't quite understand that. Not to say that I am a helicopter parent, but becoming a mum, I've really been able to understand a whole lot more why parents are so involved in their child's lives, and even with the smallest things, like whether it's getting something ready for an excursion, making sure everything is ready, or the day-to-day of perhaps the child's sick and making sure that the teacher understands that they weren't feeling well in the morning. You just become a lot more compassionate. I've become a lot more compassionate and empathetic being a parent now. And what else? My priorities have definitely also changed through the years now. I used to get to work super early, around 7 o'clock in the morning, leave late as well, so around, I'd stick around till around 5:30, quarter to 6 when the cleaners were kicking me out. And yeah, I would spend pretty much a really long day at school. And now my priorities have changed. I get into work, get my work done, especially as a relief teacher. But even actually before last year, I was relief teaching. I was an assistant principal at the school that I am currently working at, and I got in when I needed to. I did stay later till around 5 o'clock, and I'd let that be my deadline for Monday to Fridays. That'd be my deadline. I'd get all my work done at school, and I wouldn't take any work home on the weekend for me. During the holidays, I would spend a couple of full days at school, making sure I did all my program and everything there on site, and really coming home and not having to think about it. So having that, I guess that's how I try to balance my work and family life, making sure that there's a clear line between what I do at school and what I do at home, and not bringing those things at home. Of course, there are the occasional times when I have to do marking at home, assessments, report writing and such, but I try my best to keep that stuff at school when I could, and yeah, having that clear line. One last thing that I've just thought of, and my husband and I have recently been having a discussion about this as well, with how we want to raise our two girls. So before, like, being a mum, I would think that, yeah, it's really good to make sure, like, I know what the educational milestones are for children in infants, what the targets that they should be meeting when they reach a certain age or a certain stage, and I want to make sure that my kid is as school ready as possible, in terms of like their educational content that they knew, their alphabet, their numbers, and all of that. I wanted to prepare my kid as much as possible for school. And I know that there's a place for that as well. And some teachers that are mums as well would be all for that. And yes, there's a place for that as well. But I think becoming a mum, and having such a hectic schedule to try and get all those educational things done in a day, because my two girls don't go to daycare at the moment, they're at home with me, it's quite a lot of stress that I put on myself. So I think what I'm trying to say is, my husband and I were having this discussion about how we want to raise our kids. Do we want our kids to be, super intellectual, super bright coming into school, and there even maybe even chance that they are quite bored when they get to school, or do we want to make sure that we create an environment at home where the kids are going to be raised to learn how to be kind, to learn those social skills, and yeah, to build up their awareness of the world around them, and to learn, how to make friends at school as well as the people that they hang out with when we go out. So I hope that answers your question. It's really interesting because my husband and I have recently had a discussion about this as well, about how we want to raise our girls. Being a primary school teacher, I know what the milestones are, of what the kids should be hitting when they are getting ready for kindergarten, and I could go one way as a teacher and think, yes, I need to make sure both my girls know XYZ before they come to school, and I can further enhance their learning by doing XYZ as well. And yeah, I was talking about it with my husband, and you know what, it's really difficult at home, particularly because the girls don't go to school, and when you go to childcare, because the girls don't go to childcare, they may not be immersed in that rich educational environment that they have because they've got a curriculum and early childhood teachers there. And at home, it gets pretty hectic and it gets pretty busy at home doing day-to-day things, and I might not have time necessarily to always go through like reading a book. So there's sometimes days where we just do not have time to read a book with our kid, and I've learned how to stop feeling guilty about that. So what I'm trying to say is, my husband and I had this discussion, and we thought, you know what, to get our girls ready for school, and in order, to get them ready, we really want them just to learn how to be kind. We want them to learn how to have social, just be able to socialize and have those skills to make friends, to understand how to open a chip packet and tie their shoelaces before hitting kindergarten. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's being a parent now. It's, for me at least, it's less stress about making sure that my kids know all their alphabet, all their numbers can read at level XYZ before hitting kindergarten, but it's been a lot more about getting them ready socially before school, because in a couple of years' time, our little Indy is going to be ready for kindergarten, and that's going to be a whole new chapter in her life. Thanks so much for having me on your channel, Beck. I've really enjoyed answering your questions, and you've given me a little bit of food for thought as well. You can definitely go check out the interview that I've done on my channel in response to the questions that I had for you. So I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much, Florence, for all of your answers that you've shared with us today. Some of them definitely ring true to me. I know that being a mum is not easy, being a teacher is not easy. They're both so rewarding though, and I know we wouldn't change it for anything. So I feel really privileged to have Florence join me in this collaboration. I'm so glad to be able to share my responses to the questions that Florence sent in as well. So make sure you go and check that out on her channel. Go and follow her, because you will definitely get a wealth of knowledge from what she shares with you. And I hope you've enjoyed this collaboration today. For future videos, you can click down here to subscribe. I'll put an old video at the top here if you haven't seen any of my other videos. And again, make sure if you've got any questions, send them through to me. If you have any suggestions, send them through and I will add them to the long list of things that are coming. I look forward to the holidays and I hope you all enjoy a wonderful break. Thanks everyone. Bye.